friends. This video is for our 2nd through 4th grade team for July week 2. That's July 10th. And our theme for the whole summer is Make Waves. What you do today can change the world around you. And the curriculum in your folder is going to say a different memory verse. We decided not to change it for the month of July. We are going to keep the same memory verse from June because we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit all month long. So in June, we talked about love, joy, peace, and patience. Last week, we talked about kindness. This week, we are going to talk about God's goodness and how we can show God's goodness to others. So that is our memory verse for this month. Jumping down to what we're going to be learning about this week, we are headed to Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. Matthew records the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus taught his followers what it looks like to live as part of God's kingdom. Jesus says that we are like a light in the darkness and salt to flavor food. We are a city on a hill that points others to God. And God gave us so much through Jesus, we can show others what God is like with how we act. So our bottom line, show God's goodness to others. When we understand that God has been so good to us through Jesus, we can't help but show that same goodness to others. From being kind to helping others, we hope kids develop some great ideas to point others to Jesus with their actions. So jumping into our leader guide, we would love for you to join us at 8:20 and 10:20 in the garage door room. The prayer team has been praying for us and over us every week, and it is just a great time of community, fellowship, getting to know one another, and of course we have coffee and donuts in there too. Then just make sure that you are to your small group area by 8:30 and 10:30, so that when kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, you are ready for them. So just like all summer long, we have a coloring page at the bottom of your cart that you can do when kids start to come in. The kids have really been loving it. This week, it's all different kinds of light because we are talking about how when we show people God's goodness, we are like a light to others. And on the back side is a little devotional that kids can take home, and they can do these the different days of the week learning about God's goodness. Then also on the bottom of your cart, you've got your parent cues. I've just been putting my kids' name on the top of their parent cues. I've been having them put their name on their coloring sheet, and that way when we go to large group, I just shove all of that back under my cart, and then when we come back to our room at the end of the service, I put it together. There's paper clips in your cart where you can paper clip their parent cue and their coloring pages together to send it home. But just make sure before you go to large group, kind of clear off your tables so that the groups that come into your room can use the tables if need be. So when service starts at 9 and 11, if kids are coloring and they're playing along just fine, that's great. If you'd like to play a little game before you go down to large group, you have these little tags clipped to the front of your folder. First service, just make sure you paper clip those back to the front of your folder for second service. What you're going to do is you're going to give each kid one card that's paper clipped to the front of your page. And if you have fewer than 10 kids, some kids will have to get 2 cards. If you have more than 10 kids, you'll have to ask some kids to pair up. You'll ask kids to read their cards silently, and then you'll instruct the kids to listen and watch for an action that serves as a sign to tell them to do what is indicated on their card. Tell kids that the action in progress must be completed before the next kid can do what the card says. So you're going to begin the game by saying, hello. The kid who has the card that starts with, when your leader says hello, should do the action written on their card. This is going to set off a wave of actions that ends with someone saying, all of you did great, the end. So just kind of a fun little game to get the kids going. Just that was fun. Today we're going to hear about how one small action can spark a chain reaction of goodness. So let's go to large group and find out more. So that's the wave reaction challenge. At 10 after, you'll go to large group. Just make sure that you are definitely heading over at 10 after so that we can start large group right on time. That way we can end on time. Then when you get done with large group, you're going to go to 3 different stations. You're going to look at the schedule that's in the front of your folder so that you know where to go. The 3 stations are the garage door room, the yellow room, which is right across the hall from the garage door room, and the purple room, which is the last room in the hallway. So whatever grade you're with will depend on which station you go to first. And again, really try to look at the time. We're trying to rotate about every 10 minutes. I know last week, first service, we didn't get rotations down really great, and a couple of people skipped. Is it a big deal if you don't do the exact activity in there? No. If you're just chatting with your group and it's going fine, that's fine. But we're trying to just provide a little bit of structure for kids. They seem to really enjoy switching from place to place. So I'm going to start in the purple room. When you come to the purple room, you're going to do the feet wave. So you're going to have to go to your folder, where it says feet wave, and that's what you're going to do when you go to the gratitude room. So you are not going to look up Philippians 1:6. You are going to practice the fruit the Holy Spirit produces is love, joy, and peace. You're going to practice the memory verse from last month. And then all the kids are going to line up along the wall, all your group, and then you've got a boys beach ball and a girls beach ball, and they're going to pass the beach ball down their feet. So their butts are going to be against the wall and their feet are going to be on the wall, and they're going to pass the beach ball down with their feet while they're saying their memory verse. So just kind of a fun little game to get them practicing their memory verse. So that's what's happening in the purple room. In the yellow room, we will have snack, and then I always bring my prayer journal, and I ask my girls for anything they want to pray about or anything that they want to thank God for. I make sure to write it down. It's just powerful to watch someone write down your prayers, and then I take a little picture of it with my phone so I can bring it home and be praying for my girls during the week. Also, in the very back of your leader guide, there is a prayer that you can pray with your girls that talks about kind of showing God's goodness to others. Okay? And then finally, in the garage door room, you're going to do the activity called Goodness Strip. So I'm going to show it to you first in here. Glowing goodness. Why did I write goodness strips? I don't know. But glowing goodness, it says right here you need the goodness strip. So you are not going to divide your group into two teams. You're just going to have a boys team and a girls team in the room. And then each team is going to have 10 glow sticks and a set of goodness strips. I'll show you in a second what that looks like. You're going to have your kid tape one of the goodness strips to every glow stick. And then they're going to help them break apart the glow sticks, and each glow stick is going to need to have a little connector on the end. And then you're going to inform kids that each act of goodness on the strip leads to another, and they're going to try to find the order that the strips go in, almost like this interactivity, only it's going to be acts of goodness. So one act of goodness will lead to another, and they're going to try to connect all the glow sticks together in the order that this would go. And you're going to close it down by saying, this is a great way to show that when we show God's goodness to others, we can change the world around us. Goodness doesn't just mean doing nice things. Goodness is how we reflect how God is good to everyone. So what are some examples of God's goodness? Sit around and talk with your kids and ask them about that. How does it feel when someone shows goodness to you? When they're forgiving or honest or generous? Ask your kids about that. How can you show goodness to someone else? Ask your kids about that. So that is this last activity. I'm going to show you in just a second what that looks like, and then you will come in your room to end. So when you go to large group, bring your folder with you, bring your prayer journal with you, because you're going to go straight from large group to one of your 3 stations. Okay, so the last thing that I'll show you is how I've got this set up over here. Also, when you do that activity, turn the lights off in this room. That's why I did it in this room, because it's darker and the glow sticks will work better. Okay, so what I've got underneath here, each group, I've got one for 2nd grade girls, 2nd grade boys, 3rd grade boys, 3rd grade girls, and 2nd service. So if I'm 2nd grade girls, I'm going to take one of these tubs. These are my glow sticks. I'm going to tape one of these strips onto each glow stick. I'm going to can have my girls do that. I'm going to have a tape dispenser in every bucket. Here's my little end pieces. I'll put those on, and then we'll start putting these in order. Okay? So they should be on the front of the glow stick like this, so that way they kind of glow, and it's like our light being shined to others when we do good things. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for serving. I mean, Oak Bridge Kids is all volunteers. We would not be able to teach kids about the fruit of the Spirit, about God's goodness, about showing God's goodness to others if you guys didn't volunteer. If we didn't have small group leaders, we'd just be showing kids movies every week, and we would not be teaching them about the power that God can have in our lives. And so I am just, for my own kids, for my own family, I am eternally grateful to all of you. Thank you for serving, giving your time and your energy week after week. I'm so, so grateful for you guys. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on Sunday.